watching Lights Out with Fasil Khan.
This is Lights Out, I'm Fasil Khan, once again joined by John Rawling. John, how you doing today?
I'm good.
Excellent. Big win for Amir Khan on the weekend. Returned with a knockout in the first round by knocking out Phil Greco. What did you make of the performance by Amir Khan, and what did you make of his comeback to the ring?
Well, it said more about his opponent than about Amir Khan, I think. I mean, Amir did what Amir does. He went out and started immensely quickly, but the guy just looked completely out of his depth. He didn't cover up, he got tagged early, seemed to have no sort of attacking intentions, and then was quickly taken out. I don't think he threw a punch, did he?
No, I didn't see him throw much myself.
Amir did what Amir does, but I don't think it told you anything new about him. The question about Amir is how he reacts when he gets put under pressure, whether he can take a shot on, how much he can take a shot on the back of the beating against Sal Alvarez. And I don't think that performance at the weekend told you anything you didn't already know.
Obviously, you know, he's been at the ring for 2 years. He's returned with a knockout. There's potential talks of a fight against Brook. Do you think we might see that fight perhaps towards the end of the year? And if we do see that fight, what weight do you think it should happen?
It's an obvious one, and it'll surely happen because there's so much money involved. It won't be at welterweight. I think it'll be at super welterweight, I think, or somewhere in that region, somewhere around about 150 pounds, 150, maybe even 154. I don't know, but it doesn't really matter. It's a terrific fight anyway. I don't think it needs particularly a title associated with it to be a big sell for the public. I mean, we've waited for that fight for 3-4 years. It's arguably it's come much too late, but I think it'll still happen, definitely. Yeah.
What would be your prediction if that fight does happen?
Well,
Khan versus Brook? It's
the same point that I made at the beginning of the interview. It's whether or not Amir can take the shots. If he can, then he's obviously got the speed. But I think that on the basis that he was so badly knocked out against Alvarez, you have to say that Kell would go into it as the favourite. I think logically you'd go with Brook, but I don't think either of them are the fighters they were 2 or 3 years ago.
Another fight that we saw on the weekend was Frampton defeating Nonito. Donaire. What did you make of Frampton's performance?
I thought Frampton was outstanding. It was a very good fight. I thought he got his old spark back. I thought he produced a very disciplined performance against a guy who, although 35, has been a world-class performer for a long, long time. Carl had his moments when he was under pressure. He got tagged in the 7th round by a couple of uppercuts. The 11th round, when he really did take a lot of heavy shots from Donaire, and he came through it. I thought it was a very good performance, you know, and one that puts him in a great position to move on to a fight against, well, probably either Lee Selby or Josh Warrington in August.
What's the next step for Frampton? Who would you like to see him personally get in the ring with next?
Well, I think it'll be one of them. I think the likelihood is that he'll be fighting in August at Windsor Park, and we'll have a look at what happens on May the 19th when Josh Warrington challenges Lee Selby for his IBF title. If the winner of that, whoever it is, comes through unscathed, then he'll move on and fight Carl in what's effectively a unification match, because Carl's got the interim title, and whoever wins that fight will have the IBF title. So it's a big fight, and Windsor Park will be absolutely rocking.
Warrington Selby, what type of a fight can we expect?
Very good one. Very good one. Selby is technically outstanding, very good mover, good footwork, good punch picker, and you would think probably maybe a classier operator than Josh, but Josh is immensely fit, superbly fit. He's got what they call a great engine. You know, he'll fight for 3 minutes of every round. He's in the sort of shape to produce the performance of his life, and it just might be that his sort of style, which is to fight 3 minutes of every round is not great for Lee Selby. It's a bit like if you go back many years to when Chris Eubank fought Steve Collins. Collins made him fight for 3 minutes of every round. Eubank wasn't used to that and wound up being beaten. Now I think that's what Warrington will try to do with Lee Selby. Whether he's good enough to do it, time will tell. But I think the clash of styles potentially makes a very good fight indeed, and there'll be a huge pro-Warrington atmosphere.
June 23rd, O2 Arena, WBO middleweight title of the world. Billy Joe Saunders defending his title against the experienced Martin Murray. What type of a fight is Billy Joe Saunders in for when he comes up against Martin Murray?
Well, Murray's very, very tough, hugely tough. He'll go the rounds, and he'll be in fabulous shape, I'm sure, because he knows that it's the last big chance of a world title fight in reality that he's going to get. Billy Joe coming into this on the back of an outstanding performance against Lemieux in Canada before Christmas, and you'd think if he can fight like that again, then he'd rightly be seen as a very hot favourite to win. But you know, you never know. Martin Murray is teak tough, as they say.
Touching on Billy Joe Saunders, do you think he perhaps has the best chance in the middleweight division of beating Gennady Golovkin?
Yes, in a word, absolutely. Boxing's about timing, about matches being made at the right time. And I think Golovkin, 35, 36, you know, it could be that he's about to not be quite the fighter he once was. They'll probably reschedule the Canelo fight in September. If he comes through that, which I think he will, then I think the next fight could very well be Billy Joe, perhaps at the end of the year, if he comes through against Martin Murray, and that would be a huge opportunity for Billy Joe Saunders and another great night potentially for British boxing.
There's a lot of talk about Billy Joe Saunders getting in the ring with Gennady Golovkin, but obviously Golovkin has a fight on May 5th and there's potential talks of a reschedule for the Canelo fight. Do you think we'll see the Billy Joe Saunders Golovkin fight this year, or perhaps maybe sometime next year?
I think we might see it this year. I think we could see it. I think it's possible they could do it December. It really depends what happens in September if he fights Canelo. You know, I mean, if he wins that easily, then they could go for an early fight again after that. But it really depends. It could well be that it gets shoved back to March next year.
John Rawling, thank you very much for talking to Lights Out.
Thank you. No problem.